Welcome to the Online Meditation Center. So today I just wanted to let you know that I've published a book, Meditation Truths and Techniques. Your Mind Exists in Silence. And I published this book in November actually, but haven't gotten around to talk about it yet. And this book has pretty much all the information you need to learn how to meditate. Everything from understanding what meditation is to a whole host of different meditation techniques and ways to understand how meditation techniques work and why they work. So you will be able to also create your own meditation techniques once you have read this. And I thought I'd just read the introduction. So, welcome to this book about meditation, which contains both somewhat technical and practical information about meditation. In a conversational, relaxed manner, just like this, I will attempt to share my own understanding of what meditation actually is, as well as ways for you to approach it through more than 20 different techniques, ranging from relatively easy to decently difficult, depending on your current meditation mastery. And let me warn you right away, there will be repetitious explanations about what meditation is during the span of this book. From time to time you might feel like I'm feeding you the same information over and over, but I ask you to bear with me. Meditation in its perfect simplicity is actually the simplest thing in existence. Yet, in its non-complexity, it is simultaneously extremely difficult to master on a high level, or even on an intermediate level, really. In fact, meditation might be so difficult exactly because it is so simple. Our minds are complex tools, and so they enjoy and thrive by performing complex tasks, while meditation is the opposite of complexity. Meditation is the very absence of the only thing the mind truly knows how to do, namely doing itself. Ask the mind to do nothing, and it stumbles in its own complexity, becomes uncertain, stressed, and maybe even angry or scared. To do nothing feels like death for a mechanism whose very function is to do something. It's like asking a computer to not compute, and this operation, it will simply not know how to compute, and therefore either spin itself into a blue screen or hopelessly shut down. The difference between a computer and you, though, is that the computer's sole purpose is to process information, and that's it, while your purpose is to exist, to be. A computer is a mind, you could say, while you have a mind. You are free to either use your mind or not. You have the option of letting your mind rest while you yourself continue existing in effortless peace and mental silence. This is where the well-known philosopher Descartes put the cart before the horse. He proposed cogito ergo sum, which means I think, therefore I am. This is wrong, however. You do not exist because you can think. Rather, you are able to think because you exist. This is a self-evident truth. If you did not exist when you're not thinking, then you would literally die if you stopped thinking for a minute. But of course, this is wrong. What this shows is that Descartes himself, the renowned smart philosopher that he surely was, just like the vast majority of human beings, was so incredibly identified with his exquisite mind and thought processes that he actually believed he was those thought processes. He could not for a second even consider that he would go on existing without thinking, Funnily enough then, I would ask him, then how come you survived being a newborn infant? Surely newborn infants have developed neither their brains nor their experiences enough to form actual language-driven thoughts yet. But as every parent who has ever existed knows beyond any shadow of a doubt, newborn infants are very alive. Now, you might protest loudly that newborn infants are indeed doing a hell of a lot of information processing while they take in sense perceptions and learn about the new world they find themselves in. And I have a degree in psychology, so yes, I know a whole lot about human beings' developmental stages, and that is very true. However, this does not negate the fact that the very first hours of their lives, they do not form any coherent thoughts whatsoever, but they absolutely still exist. And what's more to the point, of course, even you already spend many periods every day not thinking, although you might not be aware of it. It doesn't mean you stop existing just because you stop thinking. For some of you, this might be self-evident. Of course we don't have to produce thoughts in order to exist. While for others, especially some super logical high-tech, super logical high-intellect ones who have never meditated before, or even contemplated even trying to meditate, they might indeed believe thinking is absolutely necessary all the time. Hell, even I was like that some 20 plus years ago. This, though, is luckily simply not true, and I hope to thoroughly explain and show you why during the course of this book. As I started by saying then, is that Descartes believed he existed because he was thinking, but that's only because he was 100% identified with his own spectacular mind, and not the eternally present being hiding right behind it. Furthermore, this is a perfect example of how the mind itself sees itself. It exists because it thinks. If it doesn't actively process information, then it does not exist. The truth of the matter, though, is that when the mind doesn't process information, it merely becomes temporarily inactive, silent, calm, while you are still fully here, fully aware. Oh, and don't worry, this is the first and last time I will be referring to any philosophers or anything like that, because this is decidedly not a philosophy book. Now, back to the fact that there will be repetitions throughout this book. I will repeat myself many times while explaining meditation, or guiding you into an understanding of what it is. This is because the words themselves aren't as important as you understanding and seeing what meditation actually is. In meditation, your mind is supposed to be silent, and not excitedly dribbling new juicy concepts and trying to process delicious information. Well, there might be a little of that, of course, but hopefully not too much once we get through the somewhat more dense chapters in section 1. Therefore, in order to actually guide you into a meditative state through written words, we need to trick the mind into silence by giving it busy work to churn through, while you, the being who controls the mind, relax into mere flow of what you're reading. Hence, I often use words and the flow of words more as a way of bringing you into the meditative mind state than merely to share information about the subtlest of non-activities. Often, the words themselves aren't the point, but instead where they attempt to point you. If I with words can create a stream that will wash you into silence of mind, then I know I'm doing a good job. Other sections, though, will be more factual or dry, or whatever you wish to call it. Now, you might wonder who I am, who are attempting to teach you about meditation. Well, after spending many years digging deep into questions such as who am I and what is existence during long sessions of meditation, coupled with various other approaches, the search eventually culminated in an existential breakthrough that ended all seeking and left my mind silent, aware, and present. For more than a decade, I have been living in more or less continuous meditation. During this time, I have also helped an unknown number of students to learn meditation/mindfulness, how to become more silent and peaceful, and offered my assistance on realizing deeper layers of their own beings through multiple different YouTube channels, websites, and a comprehensive course that will take you from beginner through intermediate and all the way to meditation master if you so wish. If you're curious, the course is named You Are Meditation. Here's the key to yourself, and you'll find information about it on the front page of onlinemeditationcenter.com. So, there you have it. I'm just a guy who over a decade ago wanted to discover who or what was lurking right behind his own eyes, and ended up in silence land with a big smile plastered across his face. So throughout this book I will show you that meditation isn't woo-woo or mystical in any way, and you don't actually have to learn anything to do it. When I say meditation is the simplest thing in existence, I truly mean it. But that doesn't make it easy to master for our often over-caffeinated, stressed out, juggling 100 things at a time modern minds. However, I promise that if you take the time to learn to create pockets of silence in your everyday life, maybe even pockets that with time can grow in size and deepness, then you can be sure you will benefit greatly from the increased peace of mind. With that said, I wish you all the best, and hopefully you will get something positive out of this book. Take care and enjoy life. So, it's available if you're curious, and if you read on Kindle, Amazon Kindle of course, then it's free with Kindle Unlimited. So, take a look if you want, and have a great day.